We all know Australia can be a little bit over the top when it comes to laws regarding cars and car ownership. I've made 4 whole videos on talking about Australia and Australian laws and how strict they are. Seems like I'm beating a dead horse a little bit. It seems like I've definitely got that point across to you guys, but in those other 4 videos what I was talking about is things we've gotten used to. It's been laws for years and years, such as height limit, sound limits, and how easy it is to get your car impounded and to lose your license. So if you want to learn about those things and you don't know much about Australian car laws, make sure to check out those other videos. But today we are doing something a little bit different. Today's video are about new laws and policies and fines that have recently come into Australia, which are just blatant cash grabs. They just want our money for owning our cars. So even though they might claim it's about safety or public order or the law, well, in my eyes and most people's eyes, they just want our money for stupid little things. Let's do a bit less talking and get straight into the points. I'm going to do 3 laws going from crazy to crazy to crazy. They're all absolutely crazy and EXP in them. And I mean, I'll let you form your own opinion anyways. Let's get into the first one. The first crazy law is probably the most known worldwide, and it's South Australia's supercar license. The supercar license, also known as the ultra high-powered license or UCLIS license, was implemented late last year in the state of South Australia. The law states that if you drive a car that is over 276 kilowatt or 370 horsepower per ton, you need to get this special license to be able to control the car. So how do I get this ultra-high power license to learn how to drive ultra-high power cars? Maybe it's like a day at the track in all these sports cars, or no? Not quite. No. Maybe you're driving in bad weather conditions in like a high horsepower rear-wheel drive car, how to counter steer and control it on the street so it doesn't happen to you in the rain or in a puddle. No, not that either, but no, those would be too hard to do going to the track and it be just too much work, too much effort. So the government thought, let's make it easy. We are just going to make it a computer video and a course which goes for about 45 minutes. You pay them $60 and then another $20 for your new license with a U on it, and that's it. Apparently, now you know how to drive a high-powered car from watching a video saying high-powered cars are risky to drive. Great, you thought that didn't make much sense. Just wait, there's more. Let's say you did everything the government wanted you to do. You got your UCLIS license, and now you can drive your UCLIS car legally. Let's say you go for a drive and you decide to turn off traction or stability control or any of the driver aiding systems. Well, if you get caught turning off any electronic assist on your car, well, you can face fines up to $5,000 because you're turning them off in an ultra-high performance vehicle. By the way, I'm pointing to my car. My car doesn't fit in that category. I'm just saying pretend it's a Ferrari here or something cool. I mean, I don't even need to explain the insanity of this, how crazy it is, but a lot of cars out there like my one, when you put it in Sports Plus mode, it actually turns off traction control from factory standard. It's not you pressing the button, is just putting the car in Sports Plus, and I know a lot of other car brands do that. They turn stability control down and traction control down when you're in the highest performance mode. So it's just absolutely insane to think you press that button, and because you press that button, well, you can face a fine up to $5,000 for turning off a feature in the car that you own. So they're going to claim it's about safety and not about giving money to the government. But how does me giving the government $80 and watching a YouTube video they made make me a better driver? I didn't take the car to the track. I didn't test out its capabilities. I didn't test it in weird conditions. No, I just watched a YouTube video on a basic car, and this whole power to weight restriction thing doesn't really make much sense. Either same as the P-plate restrictions. I mean, it makes sense generally speaking, but there are quite a few exceptions which just make you think, how is this allowed or not allowed? Now, fair enough, cars like my M4 or a Mustang or a C63, yes, they're fast, powerful rear-wheel drive cars, but they're not ultra-high powered. But without the ultra-high powered license, you can still drive a HSV GTSR, which makes almost 600 horsepower to the rear wheels with a 6.2L supercharged V8. Maybe you don't like muscle cars, you want a supersy car instead. How about a Lamborghini Gallardo? You can drive that one without the license, and in my opinion, the craziest one of them all, this is literally one of the fastest cars you can buy in today. If you go to a dealer strip, one of the fastest ones you can buy. That car is a 992 generation Porsche 9911 Turbo. That car goes 0 to 100 in under 3 seconds. It does a 10 mile stock. The car is literally a rocket ship, but you don't need the high power license to drive it. Like, if I want to vouch for them to making it pretty hard. This affects a lot of car enthusiasts over there in South Australia. If you have a high powered GDR or a Bar Falcon or a supercharged V8, something that makes over that threshold of 276 cow per ton, well, you have to go and get the license. So even if you've been building a car for 20 years and you know the car inside and out, you've owned it its whole life, doesn't matter, you still have to go get a license for them to tell you how to drive your car that you built. Like, if anyone knows it, it's you, but they're going to tell you and you have to give them money for them to tell you. And the most ironic part about it is everyone has a lot of experience already. Cause in Australia, to get your license, at least in my state, 2 years, you have to be on a learner permit driving with a supervisor. Then you have to do all the tests and checks and all that. Then you're a red P player for another year. And then for another 2 more years, you're AG green P player. So that means for 5 years, you're practically learning and don't have a full license before you can drive a high powered car. So I'm pretty sure Most people with 5+ years experience will be able to handle one of these cars, and it just doesn't make much sense to me, but luckily for the rest of the country, this is only staying in South Australia, as Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria have all said that they're not planning on doing it anytime soon, so fingers crossed it stays that way. Crazy law number 2, I'm doing it. Yes, sorry, you guys have to find out I'm a criminal this way right now. This right here, my hand being here. It's very illegal and very dangerous, and thus big fines and penalties coming your way because of this, but waving your hands out the window, we know it's been illegal now for quite a bit of time since we're all kids really, but this has all come back to light with South Australia once again, while their police department releasing this TikTok video. If you are travelling in a vehicle or have a passenger who's travelling in the vehicle and have a body part outside the vehicle, not only are you increasing your chances of being severely injured should there be a crash, but you could also be liable for a fine of $323 and 3 demerit points. And don't forget road safety rules. So after watching that TikTok, you can see where the police want people to be and what they don't want people to do. So if you like doing this or this, well, you're breaking the law quite significantly in their eyes, regardless of the money you have to pay for. The fine, the ridiculous and the nuts part to me is, it's 3 demerit points of your license, so that's the same equivalent as speeding 20 kilometers over the limit, or just running through a red light. That's as dangerous, the police believe, according to the demerit points, as having your hand out of the window. Now, I can already see a lot of you saying the police won't police this, they've got bigger fish to fry. Why would they care about that? Luckily you're watching Performance Nick. Now, I'm not old, but I've got quite a few stories to tell, and this story is 100% true, no word of a lie, no fabrication. This is what happened to my grandmother's friend who's in her 70s, so let me demonstrate now. My grandmother's friend was driving in peak time with traffic everywhere, it was bumper to bumper, and as she looked up she saw someone wanted to walk in between the cars, so she put her hand out the window and just politely gave him a little move along, sign that she'll wait for them to move, and bang, she got caught. Undercover H patrol right behind her pulled her over and gave her a fine. That's what you call protecting and serving, but in all seriousness, paying hundreds of dollars of fines, and if you're a P-plater, literally losing over half of your DIRA points, or if you're full licensed, a quarter of your DIRA points for having your hand out the window. It's a little bit ridiculous, and I see it as a clear cash grab considering we live in Australia, which is a hot country, so people love having their windows down. For reference, today my camera has overheated 4 times in the time filming this video. Halfway through the video that shows how hot we are, so obviously people like to have their windows down. Just make sure you don't cross that line, cause the fines will get you. And finally, the cherry on top, the last illegal thing, what you didn't notice, I'm doing it right now. Working on my car is now illegal. Come on guys, you obviously can't see the difference between right and wrong. I've given you 2 chances, my hand out the window and working on the car, the clearly very illegal. Well, here in my state of Victoria, in the Council of Casey, well, they've made owning an unregistered vehicle, working on unregistered vehicle, like restoring it or fixing something on your car. Let's, for example, the head gasket you're fixing yourself. Well, you need a permit to do that. You can't do it on your own property. That's right, it's now illegal on the property that you own. You bought it outright, you paid stamp duty on the property, you paid taxes every year and council fees on that property every year. Well, if you have unregistered vehicles or you're working on your vehicles on your own property, yeah, it's illegal unless you pay the money to get a permit. Let's say, God forbid, something goes wrong with your pride and joy, there's a little issue that you need to fix. Now there's 2 options. Option 1, go to the dealership, they'll fix it for you, but you're going to pay a lot of money. Option 2, you know how to fix it, or you're going to watch a Chris Fix video, you can fix it at home. So now instead of going to your Repco or your auto and buying the parts you need and the tools you need and doing it at home, well, there's a few more steps to that. You'll also need to pay $150 to apply for a permit, and then another $250 for the permit itself, so $400 more to do that job on your car. At that point, it's probably cheaper and better to go to the dealership than fixing it yourself on your own property, legally that is. But wait, there's more. Let's say you've got an unregistered vehicle on your property. There might be a few reasons. 1, you don't want to pay $900 a year for redro for something you don't drive. 2, it's a family member's, or it's a collectible in the family. You don't want to just sell it, you want to hold on to it for your kids. Or 3, you're restoring it, you're building it. There's no point in registering it cause it can't even drive. Well, good news for you, every one of those vehicles that aren't registered, you have to pay $250 for a permit to have it on your property. And let's say you like to have a few toys, so you got a few cars, maybe some go-karts or motorbikes or pit bikes, little monkey bike type things, you got to pay for those as well if they're unregistered. Are you kidding me now? So if you have multiple cars and some of them aren't registered, keep paying thousands of dollars to have them on your own property. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm schizo or something, like I'm losing my mind, but I feel like I'm like, this is just, it just blows my mind that it's your own property and they're going to tell you that you can't work on your cars or have cars on your property. I just want to know where these people come up with these things and what conversations are held between these people. So these are some of the crazy laws we face here in Australia, and frankly it's kind of bullying people into doing what the government say or paying them your money, but they good thing, eh? A lot of people have stood up against that last law. There's actually a petition online which I've signed myself, and I recommend all people should do it. I'll put a link down below to stop that madness happening. But everything else, us as car guys, I know it's hard, but we have to stand up against it cause we are just getting taken advantage of badly. I want to thank you for watching another Performance Nick video and seeing all the crazy laws that we face, but you have to remember we are all in this together. It's not like they're picking on one person or a group of people. We are all in this bad situation together. Thank you all for watching and letting my dream come true, filming videos of cars, talking about cars. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on my other socials, and I appreciate you all for tuning in for another week. I'll see you in a week's time, and enjoy your week till I see you again. Thank you.